Brandon Cutter looked up from his usual table at the Whitecliff Hotel and studied the trio of women who entered the building. The bright winter sun created an ethereal backdrop as they stepped through the glass-paned doors. His own smile grew when he recognized the tall, blonde beauty in the center. Then he studied the women's two companions. So these are the Stewart sisters, come from the South to experience life on the great frontier. Neither of them appeared suited to life in the Wyoming mountains. But he supposed if a woman like Caitlin Marsh could find a way to adapt, then just about anyone could. He smiled, remembering the first day he had met Caitlin. She had arrived as a mail-order bride to Philip Marsh, hotelier and son of a cattle tycoon. Philip had been about as big and rough a man to ever walk Wyoming soil. Brandon hadn't been much older than 12 when he started working for Marsh's father at the ranch, and he watched that sweet Eastern woman smooth the rough edges of the cattle baron. When the area began to grow, Philip Marsh built the first and only hotel within 100 miles, and he never looked back. He'd made a fine hotelier before he passed, and his wife had carried on in his stead. Normally, Brandon would invite her over, but he rather enjoyed watching these women in their reunion. He hadn't seen Caitlin this bright and shiny since Philip died from pneumonia 2 winters ago, and he didn't want to interfere with her joy now. It did give him a chance to give a careful study to her nieces, both beautiful. They looked so much alike one might mistake them for twins if they weren't looking closely enough to notice the subtle differences in the shape of their eyes or the fullness of their lips. Caitlin had described them to him perfectly. One wore a wool coat the same chestnut color as his favorite thoroughbred, and moved with an exuberance he rarely saw in young women. She possessed an energy that could not be mistaken or ignored, and Brandon found himself leaning forward to better glimpse her face. Unfortunately, she sat in a chair with her back to him, and his view was now blocked by other patrons. He finished his meal and thanked the young waitress who had served him at breakfast. Brandon reached for his hat when the niece he had so admired stood, spoke quietly to her aunt, and walked to the lobby area of the hotel. Ah, hell. Brandon swore when he saw the 2 men walk into the hotel lobby, and with hat in hand, walked around the tables attempting to stand between his friend's niece and 2 men who were better suited to the saloon than the respectable hotel.